Part 9. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 81. In the picture, Saitama's body was smashed into the moon, and the terrifying force made a huge pit dent in the moon. Saitama, still alive, how can this be? Countless spectators from all over the world couldn't help but swallowed, their faces full of shock. Some people were even so shocked that their whole bodies trembled involuntarily. They were so weak that they collapsed on the ground and entered a state of death strength. Saitama, the most powerful bald man on earth, was hit hard by the universe overlord Boros on his knees, and was bombarded to the surface of the moon, which is a full 380,000 kilometers away from the earth, and it actually didn't seem to be damaged at all. In the horrified eyes of countless people, Saitama slowly stood up, sat on the ground of the moon, looking at the surrounding scene with a blank expression, and then seemed to feel something. Saitama frowned and pinched nose. Saitama slowly raised his head and saw a blue planet hanging in space, like a blue round jade inlaid in the dark night, emitting a dream-like blue light, and the green embellishments on it were even more. It seemed that the earth was full of lifelike vitality. Standing up, Saitama picked up a gravel on the moon, gently tossed it twice, and then nodded, as if he understood something. Looking at this scene, countless people felt a little confused. They didn't know why Saitama wanted to play with a piece of gravel, and his face was still extremely calm, without any panic at all because he was bombarded to the moon. However, when they saw what happened next, everyone understood the scene. They saw Saitama still pinching his nose, and then his body slightly bent, showing a jumping posture. And this scene fell into the eyes of everyone in the world. Their faces were full of disbelief. Countless people did not believe that Saitama could return to the earth from the moon, because this is something that is simply impossible. It is a miracle. Impossible. It is simply impossible for humans to jump from the moon back to the earth. In the world of Naruto, Orochimaru's eyes almost popped out at this moment, staring at the screen for a moment. Can humans really possess that kind of power? That's the moon. Saitama, you can't do it, right? In the world of death, Aizen looked at the scene in a daze. Can you really do it? Without the support of any technology, in the Marvel world, Tony Stark frowned. Banner and others on the side also watched the scene intently. The next moment. Boom! A burst of dazzling white light suddenly appeared, attracting the attention of everyone in the world at the same time. In a flash, a terrifying force swept out, creating an extremely huge hole on the moon's surface. Countless gravels flew everywhere, and a huge thick fog swept out. Looking from a distance, a hole equivalent to half the size of a huge crater on the moon suddenly appeared, and the terrifying force caused the moon in space to vibrate, as if it was about to fall down due to Saitama's terrifying force. Saitama's body turned into a white streak. The stream of light rushed towards the earth at the same speed as when it came, tearing apart the space at a terrifying speed. Even space could not stop Saitama's body. Countless spectators in the world were stunned at this moment. At this moment they have fallen into deep self-doubt. They can't use any language to describe the scene on the picture, and they can't find any words to describe the scene at this moment. Taking off on the spot on the moon, nearly half of the moon dented on the spot and shattered into a crater of unknown size. This sounds like a myth. God. This is a god. Humans can actually do this. Saitama, you are the only true god. I don't understand why human beings are just ant-like creatures when they are born, and why can they reach this point? The terrifying power caused nearly half of the moon to be destroyed, and it even gave me the feeling that the moon would be crushed by a kick. This is a state that cannot be achieved with the help of external objects. Is it true that relying on oneself is the best way? What is the most powerful creature in the sea, land, and air? I will never seek death again. God. If I'm guilty, please punish me instead of making me watch science fiction movies. We both have a bald head. Why is Saitama so powerful, but I can only have a bald head? In the barrage, countless people were shocked by Saitama and doubted their lives, but the most excited ones were the people in the One Punch Man world. In the British Association, all the S-class heroes were dumbfounded at this moment. This bald Chi-Jade continued to shock them again and again, making them numb now. But at the moment when they saw the moon shattering, they still fell into an unprecedented shock. The nerves in their brains were beating continuously, and their hearts were even more intense. The speed of hundreds of times per minute is beating crazily, and it is about to jump out of the throat at this moment. At this moment, Xiao Tatsumaki and Atomic Samurai have made up their minds. They must apologize to Saitama no matter what, otherwise they will never. Saitama started to care about it. I am afraid that one punch would make everyone feel cold. Whoops. Whoops. In the picture, on the deck of the starry battleship that has been reduced to ruins, Boros is staring at Saitama flying in the sky. In the direction he was going, he was breathing heavily. The air around him continued to surge with his breathing. It was unknown how many years had passed since he last transformed into this form. Because at this moment, Boros was in this form. At the expense of burning lifespan, in exchange for powerful power in a short period of time. From birth to now, no one has ever forced him to this point. At this moment, Boros can feel the vitality in his body passing away, but he didn't panic at all. Because he has been waiting for this day for a long time. Saitama is too powerful. If he doesn't use this form, Boros can't defeat Saitama. Now if he can defeat Saitama in this state, Saitama, everything is worth it. To read exciting novels, go to Feel a Novel Network. This form, like anaerobic exercise, will put a huge burden on the body and eventually lead to a sharp reduction in lifespan. I wanted to stay at the end and end the battle early. Poros murmured to himself in rough clothes. The next moment. Boom. An earth-shattering explosion sounded not far away. The terrifying force caused the entire starry battleship to begin to shake violently, and countless rubbles flew everywhere. Thick smoke suddenly rose, and in the raging fire, Saitama's figure slowly appeared at the center of the explosion. The huge star battleship actually tilted under this blow, and then smashed down the ruins heavily. The area below that had become ruins was once again turned into fly ash by the impact. At the bottom of the ruins, looking at the star battleship that suddenly fell, many S-class heroes couldn't help but raise their heads. It took effect. Awesome, tornado. Super Alloy Blacklight looked at this scene, his face full of surprise. The tornado suspended in mid-air on the side looked a little confused. It was clear that he had not exerted force yet. How could this battleship fall so easily? The battleship above, Boros looked at the sudden explosion with a confused expression. The smoke cleared, and Saitama's body slowly walked out of the pit. Looking at the familiar scenes around him, a smile appeared on Saitama's face. Oh, here we are. Looking at Saitama walking out of the smoke, Poros's eyes were suddenly filled with bloodshot eyes, and his body once again assumed a fighting posture. But because of this man, I am willing to give it my all. As the voice of his heart spread throughout the heavens and worlds, Boros' figure moved again and rushed towards Saitama. Purple light swept out from his body again, tearing the atmosphere and piercing the void at a terrifying speed. Along with Boros's heartfelt voice and the magnificent and passionate music sounded in the background of the video. Boros' figure was like a moth flying into a flame. Without the slightest hesitation, he rushed towards the most powerful enemy he had ever encountered in his life. In order to witness the transcendence as powerful as a god, Boros is willing to pay any price, including his life. What kind of cosmic overlord? The leader of the dark matter pirate group. Now Boros is just a fighter, just like a saint who wants to protect Athenia, for the sake of his heart fight hard for their dream. At this moment, many people in the world have seen that Boros is no longer Saitama's opponent, and this duel will probably not last long. But at this moment, they shocked by Boros's attitude towards death, his heart began to heat up. Yes, as the overlord of the universe, located at the apex of the universe, how could he shrink back because the enemy is too strong? Even if it is too strong. This is the last battle, so please fight with all your strength without leaving any regrets. Bang 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 bang. Countless purple lights continued to hit Saitama's body, and Boros roared loudly. The sound resounded throughout the world, and the movements of his hands did not pause at all, and they fell crazily towards Saitama. The speed was so terrifying that even some beings in the world of high martial arts could not see their luck. He was attacked by countless attacks. Saitama suddenly punched out, hitting Boros' body instantly. Boros's body flew out instantly like a cannonball. The terrifying speed and power directly flew away countless rubbles, and the air was filled with Boros's flight. At such a speed, there was actually a wave of air that was like arrogance. Finally, after flying several thousand meters, Boros's body suddenly turned in mid-air, and then he supported the outer skin of the battleship with both hands and slid up again. It stopped after 1,000 meters. At this moment, Boros's aura has become weak and is no longer as strong as it was at the beginning. But even so, countless people in the world do not think that Boros is weak, but rather uncomfortable. Few people felt sorry for him. It's not that Boros was too weak, on the contrary, Boros was very strong, but he met Saitama, a man who surpassed God. In front of Saitama's fist, no one knows how many people felt it despair, not to mention Boros who has been fighting Saitama until now. Although Saitama does not seem to have used all his strength, you must know that all the enemies in the past cannot even withstand Saitama's casual punch. This way, the strong fighting spirit moves those who are constantly chasing the peak of power in countless worlds. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 82. That's right, Saitama, this is what makes it worth defeating. Standing on the spot, the corners of Boros's mouth were covered with blood, but his face was still extremely excited, as if he was as excited as Saitama was. As if in response to Boros, Saitama's both fists continued to blast out, and the overwhelming shadow of fists appeared in front of Boros. Countless fists continued to fall on Boros' body like a storm. Continuous normal punches. Saitama's faint voice came out. With the continuous punches, Boros's body was continuously covered with Saitama's fist marks. His body also seemed to be burned by high temperature and began to turn red. The temperature around the terrifying high temperature suddenly increased a lot. Bang! Finally, with Saitama's last punch, Boros's entire body exploded instantly like a balloon, and overwhelming blood appeared in the air. And the one eye filled with blood was particularly conspicuous. Amidst the magnificent and exciting music, Boros's one eye remaining in mid-air emitted a dazzling purple light, and the entire eyeball was instantly filled with an abyss-like abyss. Dark black. At this moment, countless spectators in the world who were infected by Boros's fighting spirit suddenly stopped in their excitement. Even, continuous normal punches. Did I just hallucinate something? How is it possible that Saitama actually calls this move, ordinary punch? In the world of Naruto, the faces of shadow-level experts from major villages were filled with disbelief, and they fell completely into a sluggish state. Cold sweat remained on Naruto's forehead. What's going on? Don't tell me, Saitama hasn't gotten serious yet. Could it be that even a powerful opponent like Boros couldn't make Saitama take it seriously? In the world of pirates, Wang Luffy's face was full of shock. This is really unbelievable. In such a fierce battle, Saitama has not used his full strength. This battle, no matter how long it has passed, will probably be engraved in my heart and will never be forgotten in this life. In the fairy tale world, Natsu and his team felt Boros's fighting spirit, their faces full of shock. And the body of the black dragon Akonolia somewhere in the world could not help but tremble. This terrifying battle made it they all feel extremely desperate. Shouldn't human beings be extremely weak? Shouldn't they just know how to escape? Why does a being as powerful as Saitama appear? If Akonolia had 1/3 of Saitama's current strength, I'm afraid I didn't need to transform into a dragon to kill all the dragons. At this moment, not only the people who supported Boros, but also the people who originally stood on Saitama's side were infected by Boros's fighting spirit. Couldn't help but start to hope that Boros can win. But obviously, this is impossible, so they can only feel sorry for Boros in their hearts. After all, when Boros and Saitama fought, many viewers thought that Boros's strength will not be much inferior to Saitama. After all, the opponents of the previous characters are also like this. Even if Tsukune Enika crushed the Ghost King, he still ended up depressed and failed to kill the Ghost King. Moreover, during Boros' appearance, he showed his terrifying strength again and again, and even made the audience think that Saitama might lose. But now they know how wrong they were, and they would you actually doubt Saitama? You know, Saitama has never been at a disadvantage from beginning to end. Except for the beginning and now, he is almost always fighting back passively, and he even accepted all Boros attacks. Because Saitama has no need to dodge. When a person's strength reaches a certain level, even dodge is a redundant action. Across the vast universe and coming to Earth, Boros just wants to find a place where he can enjoy himself. A dripping strong man, but when Boros attacked with all his strength, he found that the opponent could not enjoy the battle as much as he did. How sad and desperate this is. In the world of One Punch Man, all the dark matter pirates, the members of the group, were all frightened, and their whole bodies began to tremble uncontrollably. They felt that the end of the world was coming. Lord Boros, who had been invincible in the universe until now, was unilaterally crushed by Saitama. On the throne, Poros himself did not feel any despair, because if Saitama can be made serious, then his life will not be so dull, but will come to an end, although it is not so perfect. In the picture, in mid-air, Boros's blasted body and countless blood were suddenly attracted by a strange force, and merged together again. The terrifying pressure swept out again, and the terrifying aura that surpassed anything before spread instantly to in all directions. You must be defeated by me. Release all the energy and blow you up together with the surface of the planet. In Boros's single eye, a flash of silver light flashed, and countless thunder and lightning continued to spurt out from its center. The dazzling golden light instantly illuminated the entire land, and the thunder and lightning were like blue dragons rising. The roar that resounded through the sky made the scalps of countless spectators in the heavens tingle. Hearing Boros's words, the pupils of countless people in the world shrank, and their faces were filled with disbelief. Flattening the surface of the planet. A creature actually able to do such a thing. However, after everyone felt the terrifying energy in Boros, no one thought he was talking nonsense. With this terrifying energy, Poros might really be able to do such a thing. Click. 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 The entire battleship began to melt rapidly under the violent current. The terrifying hurricane kept blowing Saitama's white cloak. In front of this terrifying scene that destroyed the world, Saitama's his eyes that had been dull for a long time suddenly changed. To read Bao's Huang novels, go to Fila Novel Network. His dull eyes suddenly erupted with a strong light that had not been seen for a long time, and the aura of his whole body began to change under the change in his eyes. The feeling was extremely sharp, and the feeling of relief that he had not felt for a long time began to emerge in Saitama's heart. 0. Gudong. A deafening heartbeat resounded in the ears of everyone in the world. Boros, his entire body became extremely dark, the strange lines on his body emitted a golden light, and the single eye on his face and chest revealed a bright light. Collapse star roaring cannon. In the picture, accompanied by bright and dazzling light, in the shocked eyes of countless powerful people in the world, A huge blue-gold light wave like Optimus Prime spurted out from Boros's chest instantly. Accompanied by Boros's roar, extremely terrifying and huge light waves instantly penetrated the void, blasting towards Saitama with enough power to destroy the world. Then I will also use my trump card, the must-kill Sirius series. A serious punch. Facing such terrifying and terrifying energy light waves, Saitama clenched his fists tightly and made a fist-pumping gesture. A terrifying power instantly emitted from his body, just like the picture on the cover of the video. Displayed in the eyes of countless people in the world of the heavens, the extremely powerful sense of oppression made everyone's bodies shake. Here it comes. This is the final confrontation. In the world of the heavens, countless existences supporting Boros pay attention at this moment. Seeing Saitama's changes and movements, everyone was excited. They knew that the overlord of the universe would not leave with regrets. And some superpowers in the fantasy world couldn't help but open their eyes, and what appeared in their eyes was he looked solemn. Boom! As Saitama punched out, the unparalleled terrifying power and fist wind instantly split the Star Collapse roaring cannon into two, and sprayed out from both sides behind Saitama. Endless hurricanes swept out continuously, and the terrifying force blasted away all the terrifying air waves in front of Saitama. The terrifying fist wind poured onto Boros's body without reservation. In the world of the heavens, in the eyes of the strong man who could not understand, Boros's body was shrouded in bright light, and circles of air waves continued to spread in the air. All the spaces in the place shrouded by the fist wind began to distort, and the whole world became dim at this moment. After that, time seemed to have frozen. Then, the cameras suddenly appeared in outer space, and the next scene made countless viewers shrink their eyes suddenly, and the world view was completely subverted again. From the perspective of outer space, the Earth, the atmosphere was blown away at this moment, and the Earth covered by clouds was split into two like the hair on the head. The sky began to tremble, the Earth was constantly shaking, and the terrifying hurricane was constantly roaring, and the entire sky, the atmosphere that has enveloped the Earth for countless years, was split into two in an instant because of Saitama's terrifying fist style. The music in the room also stopped suddenly, and the whole world returned to peace again. Countless people in the world who were watching the video stopped thinking at this moment. They were completely stunned by the shocking scene in front of them, and almost collapsed on the ground. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 83. Countless people in the world who were watching the video stopped thinking at this moment. They were completely stunned by the shocking scene in front of them and almost collapsed on the ground. The atmosphere was actually split into two. No, am I dazzled? Impossible, absolutely impossible. At this moment, even countless figures who have been famous in their respective worlds for a long time were punched by Saitama with all his strength. They were so shocked that their whole bodies began to tremble and their scalps felt numb. Is this God? No. Is this a man who transcends gods? In the world of pirates, the four emperors at the top of the sea are almost paralyzed to the ground with fear at this moment. This kind of power, Saitama, I recognize you, and I, Uchiha Madara, would like to call you the strongest. In the world of Naruto, Uchiha Madara, who was in the land of death, widened his eyes and began to tremble violently. If Tony is as good as a god as a mortal, then Saitama is as good as a god as a mortal. In the Marvel world, Thor swallowed his saliva and said with a dry throat. It turns out that human beings can actually achieve such terrifying strength. Could it be that human nature is the most powerful foundation? In the world of death, Aizen's face was full of horror. In the world of fate, the world of fairy tale, the world of kings, the world of martial arts, I don't know how many people were completely horrified by this punch. 403. Well, not bad, Saitama is stronger than I imagined. In the world of Dragon Ball, Frieza crossed his arms with a faint smile on his face, and a fighting spirit emerged in his heart. The strength of Saitama's punch may be able to reach the combat power of his second form. This level power is indeed worth feeling a little excited about. The power of this punch may have reached the strength of a fighting saint, and it seems that Saitama only punched. If Saitama still has reservations, I am afraid that his strength will not be much inferior to mine. During the battle to break the world, Emperor Hun Tian's face was full of solemnity. An ant-like guy, born to die. Madness, in a perfect world, an expression of disdain appeared on an Ian's face. Back to the picture, only the upper half of Boros's charred and skinny body was lying quietly on the battleship. His long cherry blossom-colored hair was very messy. His breath was weaker than ever, as if he might die at any time. Did I lose? Collapsed on the battleship, Poros murmured to himself. At this moment, his world had fallen into darkness. The eyes on his chest and face had disappeared. He could feel the strong vitality in his body. It was passing by at a constant speed. He failed, defeated the strongest bald man on the earth. As Boros muttered to himself, a feeling of loneliness and sadness arose in the hearts of countless viewers in the world. But Boros didn't feel that way. Although there was still some regret in his heart, at least he made Saitama become serious, even if it was only for a moment. And he also got the battle he dreamed of, and he didn't. Weak enough to let Saitama treat him casually, everything is worth it. But what makes Boros regretful is that he did not let Saitama have a hardy battle like him. After traveling across the universe for countless years, Boros has already understood invincibility. How painful is the loneliness, but this pain can be endured by Saitama. Are you still conscious? You are really awesome. Looking at Boros's body, Saitama spoke. With a serious punch, he already knew the outcome of this battle. It is impossible for this universe overlord to have the ability to fight him again, and he has endured him. It's very difficult to still or already have a punch. As expected from the prophecy, this is a battle of equals. A wry smile appeared on Poros's face. Oh, yes, Saitama nodded, feeling a little bit reluctant to leave Poros on his deathbed. After all, this is the only one who has made him a little excited so far. Even when a person is about to die, he can also speak kindly. Just let him go in peace. You're lying. You obviously still have the strength, but I can't fight back. This is not a fight at all. On his deathbed, Poros laughed. The prophecy is still unreliable. You are too strong, Saitama. In the spaceship, a purple energy crystal ball shattered instantly as Boros's words fell, and Boros's bitter laughter as he lay dying spread throughout the sky, and his body began to slowly dissipate. The spaceship that kept roaring and exploding went into eternal silence. Saitama, on the other hand, slowly left the spaceship that kept falling and making terrifying explosions. His back looked very final and lonely. At this point, take a look at the character video. It ends here. Then a comment also emerged, no one can withstand his serious punch, the strongest hero of the Hero Association, One Punch Superman Saitama. This ends the 6th character review video, which is different from the previous one. This time it was Saitama who clearly won, but many of the countless viewers on his side. At the beginning, people thought this was the rise of a superhero, although something happened midway, many things, and some unpleasantness, but this does not mean that Saitama is not a hero. However, with the arrival of Boros, countless people felt despair. Everyone thought that Saitama might be defeated, but he did not. Boros, and when Saitama's fight was in the middle, the feeling of fists hitting the flesh and blood boiling filled the hearts of countless people. However, at that time, not many people could tell that Saitama was not using all his strength. Because many people felt that it will be an evenly matched battle, either the earth will be destroyed and the earth will be saved. And the winner will also become an eternal myth. However, When Boros continues to exceed its own limits, every outbreak, every swing the punches made the brains of countless spectators boil and surge, giving people a very powerful shock. In the final stage of the battle, Boros's appearance of not fearing life and death, and even fighting for his life after death, made many strong men who were already standing on high places. The author rekindled the warlike heart, and made countless people feel the temperature of their own blood, as if they were also on the battlefield. However, even if Boros spent his last life, he used a weapon that surpassed anything before. The powerful Starkolap's roaring cannon still failed to hurt Saitama, even if it was just a little bit of skin or a little damage to clothes. It was obviously at the cost of his life. Boros tried his best and gave everything, but he still couldn't see Chi Tama's real limit is to see Saitama's serious punch. He is obviously just pursuing a close battle, but he can't let his opponent feel the hardy battle like him, and he can't let Saitama enjoy it. This kind of sadness and despair caused countless people to have a complex pity for Boros, not the kind of pity for the weak, but the pity for the kind of pity that gives everything but still doesn't get what you want. To read the Bao's Huang novel, go to Filu Novel Network. In the world of One Punch Man, deep in the starry sky, Boros sat slumped on the throne, with the one-eyed look on his face in trance. At this moment, he didn't know if he should go. The earth, despite all its efforts, could not shake Saitama. Even he could make Saitama feel a hardy battle. No one in this universe could do it. After pondering for a long time, a bold idea came to Rose's mind, and then he quickly ordered his men to head to Earth at full speed. After all the members of the Dark Matter Pirates heard Boros's instructions, everyone who was already frightened became even more horrified and frightened. Wave, Lord Boros, do we really want to go to Earth? Certainly. No matter what, I must let Saitama feel a hardy battle. Since I can't make him excited, then I will let other strong men fight with him. You must know that the video review has only reached the 6th, there are 5 others in front of me. I think their strength will definitely not be inferior to Saitama. And I, no matter what, will try my best to make Saitama feel a hardy battle. I will find a way to let Saitama go to other universes and have a real battle with more powerful people. At the same time, as the inventory video came to an end on Earth, all the heroes around the world breathed a sigh of relief. People all over the world also fell into a carnival, and in Z City where Saitama is located, millions of people, the citizens, reveled and ran out of the streets to look for Saitama. Saitama's landlord was shocked and speechless. He made up his mind to make good friends with Saitama. First of all, Saitama should be allowed to stay for free, and then Saitama's influence can be used to rent out all the surrounding houses. On the other hand, all the S-class heroes of the Hero Association also rushed towards Z City as soon as the video ended. Go. At this moment, One Punch Man Saitama has completely become a god on Earth and even in the universe. Countless aliens want to rush to Earth to meet this man who transcends gods. As the protagonist of the inventory video, Saitama, at this moment, was slumped on the bed, looking at the ceiling with dull eyes. Genos beside him was sitting there quietly, but the shock on his face could not dissipate. Ding. Reward inventory, 10 Uzumaki Naruto Peak Combat Power Experience Cards, Uzumaki Shinkuna and Namikaze Minato return for 10 days. Ding, the reward inventory character Saitama regains human emotions. This reward can be rejected and replaced. As the voices of the two systems sounded, countless people in the world paused, and then their faces were filled with smiles. Countless people felt happy for Naruto, but they were still a little regretful, but it was good to be able to return to 10 heavens. The ending. In the world of Naruto, after Naruto heard the system prompt, 2 lines of tears continued to flow from his eyes. Witnessed by everyone around him, a golden light shone, and 2 figures also appeared. In front of Naruto, Naruto couldn't help but threw himself into the arms of the 2 people. On the other side, Saitama looked at the options in front of him and fell into deep thought. He didn't know whether he wanted to regain human emotions. And the system said it can be replaced? What can it be replaced with? With the heated discussion among countless people in the world, the popularity of the video also began to skyrocket, and Zhang Cheng, who was in the parallel world, showed a satisfied smile on his face. Ding! Congratulations to the host for reaching a certain level of popularity, and will be rewarded with the eternal Mangekyo Sharinan and the 9 Megatama Samsara I. Ding! Reward the host with special rewards, and you can become infinitely stronger by shaving your head. You can become infinitely stronger by shaving your head, which is really exciting, but let's put aside the rewards for now and let me think about which character will be better next. Looking at the blue light screen in front of him, Zhang Cheng fell into deep thought. Finally, after making a decision for a long time, Zhang Cheng chose to click on a character's avatar, began to watch the character's life, and then edited. In the end, after 2 days later, a new character inventory video appeared in front of him. Click to upload. Then, in the eyes of everyone in the world, a brand new video cover appeared in the eyes of everyone. Even Saitama watched the video when the cover came out. I couldn't help but shrink my eyes, and the expression on my face became even more serious. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 97. In the picture, just as everyone was preparing to send the plasma sparks back to the Kingdom of Light, the entire monster cemetery shook violently. In the sky, the souls of hundreds of monsters flew crazily towards the lava river where Beria originally fell. How is this going? Looking at this scene, everyone's faces were filled with incredible expressions. Even most people in the world are a little confused. As long as some truly strong people understand that things are not over yet. Boom! In everyone's eyes, a terrifying energy wave burst out from the magma instantly. Countless magma continued to fall to the ground, and a powerful force swept out in an instant. The entire monster cemetery was illuminated by the magma fire. It became extremely red under the light, and the terrifying temperature continued to rise. Roar! A huge roar resounded throughout the world. In everyone's eyes, a terrifying monster composed of hundreds of monsters and Beria's body, the giant beast, appeared in everyone's eyes, and its suffocating power continued to sweep out. The terrifying sense of oppression caused the faces of many strong men in the world to change drastically. Their whole bodies began to tremble involuntarily, and the expressions on their faces were extremely horrifying. Just because of you, did you win me over? On top of the giant monster's head, half of Beria's body appeared. That, and that. Among the people on earth, a man said tremblingly, "So, place, all the monsters are united. What kind of monster is this?" The captain's face was full of horror. "Let's deal with him." Looking at the monster's body, Leo's expression was extremely solemn, and then the group of people and Zero's body rushed towards the huge monster transformed by Beria. And Lei's eyes also flashed with a golden light, and then he stretched his waist. He raised his battle instrument high. "Come on, Gamera." The golden light suddenly appeared, and Gamera's body appeared in front of everyone. Earth-shattering roars and terrifying power swept out instantly. Facing Beria, who had hundreds of monsters merged into one, it was obvious that the monster, tens of meters tall Ultraman, looked extremely weak, like a bug, with a size difference of dozens of times. Coming. In the sky, Leo and Zero's bodies jumped high, and then suddenly stretched out their right legs and rushed towards Beria. The terrifying fire light continued to burn on their legs, and the extremely powerful Leo's flying kick instantly tear apart the atmosphere, pierce the void, and rush towards the huge monster with unparalleled power. "Don't underestimate me." Above the head, Beria's face was filled with anger, and then the huge body suddenly shook, knocking Leo and Zero's bodies flying out. Cha! In mid-air, Dana's hands were clasped together. The blue-purple light blasted out instantly, rushing towards Beria with terrifying power. Whoops! Before the light blasted out, the giant monster's right hand instantly squeezed Dinah tightly, and the terrifying energy was it gushed out from the palm of my hand. Ah! As the miserable scream sounded, Dinah's body also fell heavily to the ground. On the other side, Gamera was also violently thrown away by the giant tail. Even Lei, who was the host, was affected, and fell from a high altitude involuntarily, falling heavily to the ground. In mid-air, the huge battleship continued to blast out missiles, constantly bombarding the huge monster. But obviously it has no use. Let me send you to the west, take the move. With Beria's roar, hundreds of golden rays of light shot out from all directions of the giant monster. Suddenly the air was filled with thousands of golden rays of rays. The terrifying rays of light rushed towards everyone, and the powerful power commanded. People felt terrified. Boom! There was a flash of golden light, and countless explosions sounded at the same time. The deafening explosions resounded throughout the entire monster cemetery, and even spread to distant space. The terrifying firelight instantly filled the entire monster cemetery field, the earth collapsed uncontrollably, and the entire area was like purgatory, with countless flames sweeping out. In just a moment, the battleships in the sky and Ultramen on the ground suffered varying degrees of injuries and severe pain. Constantly attacking their bodies, screams spread throughout the world, making people feel waves of fear. The ultimate combat instrument. Under the violent aftermath, Lei's eyes were attracted by the ultimate combat instrument not far away. They are also combat instruments, so my power should also be controllable. Aiming the combat instrument in his hand at the ultimate combat instrument, Lei's face was full of determination. 100 monsters, obey my command. As the words fell, the combat instrument in Lei's hand began to shine brightly, and began to connect with the ultimate combat instrument, and then began to affect the 100 monsters controlled by Beria. Don't want. Beria's earth-shattering roar came from the head of the huge monster transformed by Beria. I saw that hundreds of monsters on Beria began to resist Beria continuously, and for a moment they fell into a stalemate. Medium, unable to move for a short period of time. It's time to beat it. Looking at the huge monster that was not under Beria's control, Lei's voice came to the ears of Leo and others. Zero, it's up to you. Looking at Zero, Leo's eyes were full of trust. Yes. Nodding heavily, Zero came to the front of the plasma spark, and stopped with his hands 1 meter in front of the plasma spark. To read Bao's Huang novels, go to Philo Novel Network. As he continued to absorb the plasma sparks, energy, the aura on Zero's body became more and more powerful, and the 2 darts on his head turned into a crescent sword, which emitted bursts of cold light, making countless people feel heart palpitations. Okay, what a powerful weapon, this is too scary. In the world of pirates, the red-haired face was full of horror. This weapon actually gave him a feeling that he would die if he touched it. This was too terrifying. The divine light chose Zero. The first generation looked at the weapon in Zero's hand, his face full of shock. Let's cover him. As the voice of the first generation rang out, everyone also rang out. I saw that unprecedented terrifying energy erupted from everyone's bodies, and the powerful breath shocked countless existences in the world. The next moment, several terrifying energy rays rushed towards Beria at the same time. The powerful attack tore the atmosphere, and even the space was shattered at this moment. The terrifying attack instantly suppressed the huge monster. In everyone's eyes, Zero's body jumped up, and the blade in his hand instantly slashed the half of Beria's body on the giant monster's head. Boom! As Zero's knife swung out, the terrifying power instantly swept through the entire body. The huge body and the terrifying energy continued to expand, instantly destroying the inside of the giant monster, and a deafening explosion spread throughout the space. The giant monster's body turned into powder and dissipated between the sky and the earth, and countless rubbles without ejection. The entire monster cemetery began to collapse like the end of the world. At this point in the picture, Beria's inventory ended with a huge explosion. Evaluation: the most evil and powerful Dark Ultra in the history of the Kingdom of Light Man, Beria. Looking at this scene, the faces of countless people were full of loneliness. Those who supported Beria felt a kind of desolation. Unlike the characters listed in the previous videos, Beria's experience was really real. It's so tragic. He is obviously a hero of the Kingdom of Light, but he does not receive the treatment a hero deserves. Even the woman he loves falls in love with his friend. Even Zero, who like him tried to get close to the plasma spark, was treated badly. Compared with him, the treatment is countless times better. This is really miserable. Alas, I hope Beria can win this battle, but things often backfire. In the pirate world, Whitebeard picked up a big bowl and drank all the wine in it. After all, they were defeated. Beria may have been wrong, but what the Kingdom of Light did was too much. In the world of Naruto, Namikaze Minato couldn't help but sigh. Sure enough, only strong power can possess everything, everything else is hypocritical, and Beria is just not strong enough. In the Death God world, Aizen closed his eyes and began to think about the future path. Unlike most worlds in the world, most people in the Ultra world were excited about Zero's victory over Beria. Felt great joy. Zero, you are great. In the conference room, looking at Zero's appearance, a happy smile appeared on Seven's face. Zero, I didn't expect you to be recognized by the Divine Light. It's really amazing. Plasma Spark Tower, the father of Ultra, had a faint smile on his face. Will I become that strong in the future? K76 star, Zero, who had just finished training with Leo, was stunned on the spot, with some disbelief on his face. He was surprised by everything in the video, whether it was the fact that Seven was his father, or the fact that Seven was his father. He would find it unbelievable that he would become so powerful in the future. After all, he would be so strong in the future, so powerful that he could not believe it. In the cosmic prison, Beria was stunned as he looked at himself being wiped out. The expression on his face was extremely complicated. At this moment, he really wanted to look up to the sky and roar, but what could he do? Ding, the reward for this video review is the purifying light of Belial and the divine light. Note, the light of purification can remove the negative energy of people in Rebland. Hearing the voice in his mind, Belial's complicated face showed a hint of joy. At the same time, in the minds of everyone in the world, a new inventory video came again. In the world of Dragon Ball, Frieza, looking at the inventory video in front of me, my eyes widened and my whole body began to tremble involuntarily. This is taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 98. In the picture on the cover of the video, a bright blue planet appears in front of everyone in the world. In space, the blue and bright planet is slowly rotating. Although it is not as vibrant as the Earth, nor as green as the Ultra Star, this planet has a strong aura that makes at first glance, people feel that they are extraordinary. This is not Star Vegeta. In the world of Dragon Ball, looking at the planet in front of him, Nappa exclaimed. It is planet Vegeta, but has planet Vegeta been destroyed by meteorites long ago? Could this be a scene from the past? Besides, Vegeta nodded, his face full of shock. Planet Vegeta, wasn't it destroyed by me many years ago? And now that it appears on the screen, could it be that the person taking stock this time will be this king? In the space battleship, Frieza raised his brows with an excited expression on his face. You know, planet Vegeta was destroyed by him back then, and now planet Vegeta actually appears in the character inventory screen. So obviously, the characters listed this time have something to do with planet Vegeta. Although he is only the fourth, After seeing the mysterious four, Frisia has also kept a low profile. After all, although he is indeed very powerful, there are still people stronger than him among the 263 in this universe. Although he is a little unhappy only to be ranked 4th, he can barely accept it. In the eyes of everyone in the world, the picture began to play. This time, the picture was played directly without subtitles or introduction to the world view. Instead, the picture was played directly. In the vast space, a bright blue planet appeared in front of everyone's eyes. The huge planet exuded a powerful aura, making people feel a little depressed. At the bottom of the screen, a line of subtitles appeared, Planet Vegeta. A picture of the universe. In the Marvel world, Tony's eyes narrowed slightly. Could it be that the characters listed this time were born on this planet? Could it be, does this video exist with the starry sky as a battlefield? In the Ultra world, there is not much surprise in Zofei's eyes. Space is a familiar place for them. But from the beginning of this video, he did not see anything worthy of surprise. However, a moment later, the video screen began to shake slightly. A huge spaceship with dozens of oval-shaped cabins like golden headlights shining outside, enough to fill the entire screen, was speeding past. At the first sight of the spaceship, countless people in Frisia's legion deep in the universe in the Dragon Ball world were stunned. Frisia himself was also a little surprised, but not too surprised. After all, he had already guessed that he was the one to be counted this time, so he was not so surprised when all the spaceships under his command appeared in front of him. In the picture, the shell of the huge spaceship was covered with bright golden lights. In the oval-shaped cabin, many figures as small as ants can be vaguely seen through the glass of the cabin. The difference between living creatures and spaceships instantly made countless viewers understand the hugeness of this spaceship. The most direct knowledge. This spaceship, it is probably dozens of times bigger than the giants of the Kingdom of Light, and it is no worse than the star battleship of Boros in the previous video. Could it be that the Lord is in this ship this time? Countless spectators across the universe all had similar thoughts in their hearts. However, as the camera gradually pulled away and the picture began to expand, countless people in the world were shocked at this moment. They rubbed their eyes in unison, and some even gave them a hard blow. Slap yourself. Oh my God. There was not just one spaceship about the same size as Boros battleship, but thousands of spaceships. Countless spaceships instantly filled the entire video screen. The densely packed spaceships made some trypophobia patients everywhere feel extremely frightened. Just like a swarm of fireflies flying in the summer night, the golden light shines, instantly illuminating the dark space, spreading across the entire starry sky with extremely powerful power. This scene made countless viewers in the world subconsciously feel that they were hallucinating and began to doubt their own eyes. What on earth are these? In the martial arts world, all the martial arts masters were dumbfounded. For them who have not yet entered the industrial era, this picture is undoubtedly a miracle. But you call this a spaceship? In the world of pirates, the faces of countless long-famous strongmen changed colors one after another. Enel's eyes widened even more, and his whole body began to tremble involuntarily. Damn it! As the overlord of the universe, it's amazing that Boros has won. Come on, you have so many ships? How can you get my arc proverb out to see people? In the world of the Marvel Universe, countless humans were shocked, and countless high-level officials in Country M were almost pissed with fear. They attracted the technology that he was proud of was just like the difference between a pistol and a nuclear bomb in front of such a huge and numerous star battleship. It was simply rubbish. Located in the depths of the universe, Thanos' eyes widened and his face was full of worry. Incredible expression. This huge fleet is countless times more powerful than his fleet. If his fleet encounters this fleet, I am afraid it will be wiped out in an instant. Picture, as the fleet marched towards planet Vegeta, a line of subtitles also appeared in front of everyone in the world. To read Bao's Huang novels, go to Fila Novel Network. The First Fleet under the command of Universe Emperor Frisia. Then, as this line of subtitles appeared, countless people in the world swallowed involuntarily and felt a thump in their hearts at the moment they saw this line of subtitles. They were not unfamiliar with this name. After all, this name, however, he often appears in the barrage, and often claims to be the Emperor of the universe. He also boasts very brazenly that people such as Suikuni Eniki, Aizen Sosuke, and others are very weak and can destroy them with one finger. For this reason, many of them have faced Frisia one after another, but now looking at this battle, it seems that Frisia, the Emperor of the universe, is not joking, but really has such powerful strength. At this moment, those who had faced Frisia couldn't help but feel frightened, and their heads were buzzing. You must know that they had paid tribute to all 18 generations of Frisia's ancestors. If Frisia is in the future, if they go to the world they live in, wouldn't that be the end of it? In the picture, the huge fleet flew quickly towards planet Vegeta, and then entered planet Vegeta under everyone's shocked eyes. To the Saiyans living on planet Vegeta, Frisia's fleet was like meteors streaking across the sky, rampaging across planet Vegeta and randomly destroying Saiyan buildings. Object 0. Then, the Frisia Legion soldiers flying out of the spaceship filled the entire sky, flying wantonly in the air with arrogant smiles on their faces. An invisible sense of oppression spread throughout the world, and the Saiyans on planet Vegeta dared not speak out. Seeing this scene, Vegeta and Nappa's faces were full of anger, even their teeth were almost broken, and their bodies trembled involuntarily. If they weren't on their way to Earth now, they would really want to rush back and kill Frisia and the others at this moment. Of course, this is just a thought. At the same time, the main ship of Frisia's fleet in the picture also slowly landed in the Saiyan Palace Square. In the palace, a dozen Saiyans headed by King Vegeta slowly walked out with solemn expressions and walked towards the main ship where they had logged in. When the hatch of the main ship opened, the figures of the Kurdish king and Frisia were also reflected in the eyes of countless spectators from all over the world. At this moment, most people were shocked. The oppressive force of Beria's appearance had already made the strong men of all dimensions feel palpitated. However, the Kurdish king and Frisia who are in front of everyone at this moment, the terrifying energy contained in their bodies is as strong as the sun compared with them. The blackened Beria is simply the moon and fireflies. The difference in light is completely impossible to compare together. At this moment, countless people feel their souls trembling and their minds trembling. In the world of One Punch Man, when Genos looked at his teacher, Saitama, he suddenly found that Saitama's dull eyes were filled with excitement, and the fists in his hands were clenched involuntarily. You know, even Beria didn't give the teacher this kind of reaction. The teacher only showed this expression when the King of Ultra appeared. Is it possible that only a strong man of this level can make the teacher excited? In Universe 5.2, Boros's eyes were full of shock, and the expression on his face was extremely exciting. At this moment, Boros felt that he had seen a true god. In the Ultra world, all the Ultra warriors were stunned, and their whole bodies began to tremble involuntarily. Even the so-called invincible flame-headed Captain Mr. Zoffi had a look of fear in his eyes. In the world of Demon Slayer, the demons led by Animbutsuji Muzan and Yujiki seem to have found where they belong after seeing the appearance of King Kurd and Frisia and the auras emanating from them. Why are there such perfect creatures in this world? If I could take a bite of their meat, I would do anything. Even, looking at the two bodies of Frisia, the fallen princess's face was filled with flushing, and she was already wet after seeing Frisia and the other two. In the Dragon Ball world, Frisia looked at the scene with a faint smile on his face. At this moment, he had seen the expressions of everyone in the world through the almost paralyzing barrage. This feeling was so wonderful and interesting. This is even more interesting than conquering the universe. After all, this is conquering all heavens and worlds. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 99. In the picture, the tall Kurdish king looked at King Vegeta and his party who came to greet him. The smaller Frisia looked like a child compared to the Kurdish king. The Kurdish king could be seen speaking calmly. Long time no see, King Vegeta. Kurdish king, I sincerely welcome you. King Vegeta had a smile on his face and stretched out his right hand to shake hands with the Kurdish king. However, the palm he extended was ignored by the Kurdish king. The Kurdish king looked at Frisia beside him and said, "Let me introduce you, this is my son, Frisia." Frisia took steps, with an undisguised chill in his scarlet eyes. The strong sense of oppression made King Vegeta take a step back, and cold sweat broke out on his face. "Please take good care of me when we meet you for the first time, Frisia-sama." After hesitating for a moment, King Vegeta knelt down on one knee and bent down to salute Frisia. As King Vegeta knelt down on one knee, all the strong Saiyans behind him also knelt down on one knee. Saluting Frisia. "I am the one, please take care of me." Looking at this scene, Frisia put his hands behind his back, raised the corners of his mouth slightly, and finally a faint smile appeared on his face. At this moment, Vegeta, looking at the picture in his mind, gritted his teeth. His face was extremely angry, and he wished he could beat Frisia on the spot and let him know why the flowers were so brilliant. In the picture, the Kurdish king glanced around all the Saiyans, and a majestic voice slowly came out. "Although it is a bit sudden, I am ready to retire. From now on, the army will be taken over by Frisia, which means that the 04 Kurdish army will be renamed Frisia's army." In King Vegeta's shocked eyes, King Kurd hugged Frisia and continued, "Nothing will change. You Saiyans just need to obey Frisia's orders. If anything, Frisia is even more ruthless than me." Slapping away the Kurdish king's palm, Frisia's unbridled laughter spread to everyone's ears. Then he spread his palms and smiled at King Vegeta and others. "Please take care of me, everyone. I am very much looking forward to your performance." Looking at Frisia's face, King Vegeta lowered his head, his face was covered with cold sweat, and his heart sank to the bottom. "To commemorate my taking office today, I have brought you new equipment." As Frisia's voice came out, one of his subordinates opened a tight box, and 6 instruments with lenses inside appeared in everyone's eyes. Frisia picked up one of them, and then put it on the left ear. Is a newly developed detector, which has improved the old detector used for reconnaissance, making it smaller and easier to carry. It can also conduct wireless intercoms. Like the previous detectors, it can measure the coordinates, combat power, and distance of the other party. Oops! As the instrument was turned on, Frisia's expression showed a hint of surprise. "It seems that several Saiyans are targeting us with weapons. What is the combat power of the Saiyans hiding there? 2000? It's really good." After the words fell, Frisia stretched out his finger, and a red scarlet ray blasted out instantly from his fingertip. The terrifying air wave spread around it, and instantly penetrated a huge pavilion building in the distance. Boom! Followed by Frisia changed the position of his fingers one after another, and scarlet rays were blasted out instantly. The places where snipers were hidden in the palace exploded one after another. This scene shocked countless people in the world. "See it? That's it, isn't it very convenient?" Frisia had his hands behind his back, and his small body stood upright, giving him a different kind of elegance. The bodies of King Vegeta and others kneeling on one knee were trembling constantly, and the teeth in their mouths kept squeaking. But no one dared to speak out a word of resistance. Because they knew that if anyone dared to speak out at this moment, I am afraid that not only the person who spoke out would die. It is even possible that the entire planet Vegeta would be destroyed. And this scene also made countless viewers in the world feel a fear from the depths of their souls, and their whole bodies trembled. In the Dragon Ball world, Vegeta and Nappa's teeth were almost broken. Frisia's hatred has almost reached its peak. Anyway, I'll give you about 500 first. If it's not enough, just tell me and I'll leave first. After the words fell, Frisia and others also returned to the spaceship. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared into planet Vegeta and rushed towards space. The camera turned and the picture came to the starry sky. Frisia the subordinate said, I have checked about Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan God, but it seems to be just a legend. I had guessed it a long time ago, but I didn't want to leave any trouble at all, so this was just in case. Sitting on the floating seat like a baby chair, Frisia's voice came out faintly. Then should we stop attacking? Frisia's men asked. Oh, hee, are you kidding? It's rare to call them all back. Isn't this an excellent opportunity to destroy the entire planet? Hearing this, Frisia couldn't help but laugh wildly and looked at planet Vegeta in front of him with interest. In the Dragon Ball world, Vegeta and Nappa were stunned when they heard the conversation between the two. He paused, then seemed to understand something, his face suddenly changed. Phew, didn't Frisia say that planet Vegeta perished due to the impact of a meteorite? Looking at Nappa, Vegeta's voice was trembling. At this moment, Vegeta's mind seemed to be hit by an earth-shattering thunder, and a terrifying aura kept spewing out like a flame. The anger in my heart reached an extreme. Frisia actually lied to us. Nappa's eyes were bloodshot, and he wanted to cut Frisia into pieces right away. To read exciting novels, go to Fila Novel Network. On the northern Kaiwang, Kakarot sat paralyzed on the ground. A wave of a feeling of sadness came to his heart inexplicably. Although he had no memory of being on planet Vegeta, after what happened to Raditz before, he learned that planet Vegeta was destroyed by a meteorite. And Raditz, obviously there was no reason to lie to him, so the only possibility was that Frisia had deceived Raditz. At the same time, deep in the universe, Frisia looked at the scene in front of him with great interest. Have what happened back then been exposed? It's really interesting. I really want to see the expressions of Vegeta and Nappa and those Uselessians at this moment. I think they must be very happy, oh he. In the world of heavens, countless spectators only felt that their scalps were numb at this moment, and their whole bodies were trembling. They felt as if they had been summoned by the god of death, and felt a chill down their spines. Destroy the entire planet? How could they say this so easily? Are so many lives inferior to nothing? In the world of martial arts, Guojing's face was full of disbelief, the anger in his heart kept burning, and his whole person kept trembling, not because of fear, but because of extreme anger. This, judging from their tone, it seems that Frisia has done these things a lot. In the world of pirates, Wang Luffy's eyes widened and he couldn't believe it. I originally thought that Boros, Belial and the others were scary enough, but I didn't expect that there were monsters like Frisia in other universes. In the Marvel world, Banner's mouth is slightly open and he can almost swallow a few eggs. No. Impossible. Will Frisia really destroy the entire planet? In the Demon Slayer world, Tanjiro's Demon Slayers, who learned about the concept of the universe and planets from the inventory videos and barrages, felt extremely uneasy at the moment, and an ominous premonition emerged in their hearts. In their eyes, every human being, their lives are extremely precious. In order to protect mankind, they have paid a huge price for this. The 750 lives on the entire planet are already difficult to calculate in units. But Frisia and his men downplayed talking about this act of taking countless lives is like eating and drinking without any psychological burden. It is difficult to describe their crimes in words. Compared with them, the ghosts in their world are simply like angels. As the scene changed, the last group of Saiyan elite warriors returned from the starfield to planet Vegeta. On one of the spaceships, a strong man with a cross-like scar on his cheek looked at him. Looking at Frisia's spaceship, he frowned and said, "Don't you think it's strange? If you have something to say, there is no need to come back all the way. Just use the radio." If you want to give us new equipment, there is no need to rush. This guy must have some conspiracy. Hearing this, the man on the side smiled bitterly and said, Lord Bardock, what does conspiracy mean? In the Dragon Ball world, after hearing Bardock's words, Vegeta and Nappa fell silent, and Kakarot, who was far away in the northern Kaiwang, also had a little pain on his face. This is his father. Looking at the man who looked almost the same as himself in the picture, Kakarot confirmed his identity almost instantly. In the starry sky, Frieza watched Bardock return to planet Vegeta. The corners of his mouth suddenly raised slightly, and a sneer appeared on his face. I still have a little impression of this Yin. When planet Vegeta was destroyed back then, he was the only one who discovered this in advance, and actually dared to come forward to be the enemy of this king. Although it was a bit overestimating his abilities, it is still worth remembering by this king. It seems that the protagonist of this video is none other than me. Let all the heavens and the world see my heroic appearance. I hope that your expressions will be enough to make me feel happy. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 100. As the scenes in the video continued to change, after nightfall, Bardock and his wife Gnei came to the wilderness, and Bardock was carrying a spherical spaceship on his shoulders. Sure enough, it's better to give up, the figures of the two people kept shuttling back and forth in the wild. Gnei couldn't help but say while looking at Bardock. Don't worry, if my budget is wrong, I'll save him right away. Carrying the spaceship, Bardock gradually slowed down. Gnei in that case, let's run together, the three of us. Bardock no, the detector will find us soon. Gnei but why do you have to go to such an extent? A man would be so worried about his child. It's so unseen. Because I am always at the forefront of the battlefield, I always want to save something without knowing it, especially my son who is judged to be a lower-level soldier. Putting down the spherical spaceship on his shoulder, Bardock looked through the curved glass and saw a child of about 3 years old wearing cyan combat clothes. He was crying loudly inside. I set the destination. It's a distant planet called Earth. The humans on this planet are extremely low in terms of technological level and combat effectiveness. I think you can survive. Moreover, that planet has little value, and the possibility of being targeted by Frieza's army is relatively low. If Bardock is overly worried, we will go back to pick you up right away. Lying on the glass of the spaceship, Gnei looked at Kakarot inside with a face full of reluctance. Listen up, you must live. Bardock's cold face for nearly half his life showed a rare smile at this moment. In the video, young Kakarot stopped crying and looked at his parents in front of him with a little smile on his face. Doubts. In the Dragon Ball world, unlike the young Kakarot, Sun Wukong was raised by people on Earth, but he shed tears. Although he could not remember the past, he could still feel his parents' love for him through the picture. His love. At this moment, countless people in the world felt an inexplicable sadness. Many women's eyes turned red, and some women who had given birth even wiped away tears. See you later, bye now. Under the reluctant eyes of Bardock and Gnei, the spherical spaceship slowly took off, with Kakarot's figure clearly imprinted in it. Then the spacecraft turned into a stream of light, tore through the atmosphere and flew into the depths of the universe before disappearing. In the eyes of everyone. For the two Bardocks in the picture, there may be some hope for planet Vegeta, but for Sun Wukong in the Dragon Ball world, who has already learned everything that happened, this parting, there would never be a chance to meet again. In the universe, Vegeta and Nappa gritted their teeth tightly, with blood stains left from the corners of their mouths. They were extremely sad in their hearts, and the last time they saw each other emerged in their minds. The scene of seeing his family. Located in the depths of the universe, Frieza's eyes suddenly turned cold, and his face was full of displeasure. Aside from the three Vegetas, is there actually a lower level Saiyan child alive? Inform the Jinnyu special forces to find this planet called Earth immediately and kill Kakarot, the Saiyan. At the same time, countless viewers in the world of heaven were affected by this scene, and a sense of powerlessness and despair emerged in their hearts. They knew that if Kakarot died, they might never be able to see their parents again in this life. In the screen, as Kakarot's spaceship went away, the screen changed to Frisia's spaceship. Under the gaze of countless people in the world, Frisia's men in the screen said, "See, if the people are gone, the strength of the troops will be reduced by half. Is that a problem? Although they seem to be loyal, they may rebel one day. In any case, they are a fighting nation." Sitting on the aircraft, Frisia's voice continued, "Before this matter gets too big, we must clean it up." After saying that, the top hatch of the spaceship where Frisia was located opened, and then in everyone's shocked eyes, Frisia, who was sitting in the aircraft, slowly flew from the huge spaceship into space. He looked at the spaceship and the planet. Compared with Frisia, his body is as small as dust, but the terrifying aura exuding from Frisia is enough to suppress countless worlds. Looking at planet Vegeta in the distance, the corner of Frisia's mouth, he raised his head slightly, with a smile on his face, and then raised his right hand and put it deep into his index finger. The next moment, buzz! A red energy bullet that was enough to scare countless powerful people in the world suddenly condensed on his fingertips, then it began to skyrocket continuously, and the bright red light illuminated the entire starry sky, and the terrifying energy distorted the space. As the camera continued to zoom out, the red energy bombs skyrocketed instantly, and a terrifying sense of oppression swept out. People in countless worlds felt the breath of death at the same time, and even their souls began to tremble. In just a few seconds, the volume of the red energy bullet between Frisia's fingers expanded rapidly, and it was far beyond the limit in an instant. The spaceship where Frisia was originally located, like a small sun, quickly rose in the space outside planet Vegeta. To read Bao's Huang novels, go to Fila Novel Network. At this moment, all the worlds in the world, everyone's bodies began to tremble involuntarily, as if the cells in their bodies were frozen, and they felt a chill that they had never experienced before. At this moment, no one dared to doubt the authenticity of what Frisia said before. Because they can clearly feel the terrifying aura emitted by this red energy bomb. This aura is no less than that of a sun. Sunday. Is this the sun? In the Demon Slayer world, many evil ghosts stayed in place at this moment. Even Demon Dance Tsuji Mume regarded the red energy bomb as the sun that had not been seen in thousands of years at this moment. Does this kind of power really exist in the world of pirates? As the strongest creature on land, sea, and air, Kaido only feels extremely scared at this moment. In front of this terrifying red energy bomb, his proud body and unparalleled vitality are simply, just like ants, they will be wiped out in an instant. Art, this is real art. In the Naruto World Akatsuki organization, Deidara's face was full of admiration. Frisia was his idol at this moment. So strong, Frisia is really strong. In the world of One Punch Man, an unprecedented light emerged in Saitama's eyes, and the originally restrained aura on his body exploded, spreading throughout Z City in an instant, making millions of humans feel double fear. In the Ultra world, Zero was shocked and speechless. He had never thought that a creature that looked extremely weak could actually possess such powerful energy in its body. The energy of this move alone was almost as strong as that of a plasma spark. 1. You must know that the energy of plasma sparks is not inferior to that of the sun. There is no need to explain what the concept of 1/10 of the sun's energy is. The energy he borrowed when he defeated Barrier with the help of plasma sparks was only a few seconds. 1%. In the world of Dragon Ball, Sun Wukong, Krillin, and even Vegeta on the earth are all horrified. This powerful red energy bomb, even if they try their best, will probably destroy it. It can't be shaken even half a point. In the picture, As the energy bombs released by Frisia get bigger and bigger, the hope that the Scians can survive in the world of the heavens also collapses. The collapsing stars blasted by Boros burning his life force. The roaring cannon is different. Frisia has been doing it lightly from beginning to end. Even at this moment, he only used one finger to condense this energy bomb. This kind of power that is difficult to describe in words has made countless masters in the world. Everyone felt the breath of death. Under the fearful eyes of countless people in the world and the angry eyes of Vegeta and others, Frisia slowly waved his fingers towards planet Vegeta. The energy bomb was like a small sundae, exuding unparalleled terrifying power, wrapped in heart-stopping terrifying energy, piercing the void and bombarding towards the surface of planet Vegeta. Accompanied by the excited eyes of Frisia's fleet and Frisia's arrogance amidst laughter, energy bombs like magma gathered quickly fell down. As the huge energy bombs continued to fall, the terrifying white air waves were instantly blasted away, like a small sun, bursting out with extremely hot energy. The sky on planet Vegeta began to surge, and the sky was completely reflected in red like the setting sun. In the fearful and desperate eyes of all the Scians on planet Vegeta, the energy bombs bloomed with a brilliance even brighter than the sun carrying the aura of death. It kept pressing down. The unparalleled sense of oppression instantly swept through countless worlds, making the strong men in countless worlds feel deep fear, and even their souls seemed to be burned by flames. Generally, it began to surge. In the picture, everyone saw Bardock rushing into the sky with his body in tatters, releasing a terrifying shockwave from his hands, trying to stop the energy bombs fired by Frisia. However, it was easy enough here in front of the energy bomb that destroyed the planet. Bardock's shockwave was like the gap between a stream and the sea. His entire body was instantly buried in the energy bomb and disappeared into it. Amidst the horrified faces and desperate screams of countless Scians, the energy bomb bombarded planet Vegeta without any accident. Boom! The atmosphere was instantly blown away at this moment. The earth began to collapse, the sky collapsed, and the entire planet was like a chain reaction of constant vibrations, terrifying desolation continuously sweeping across the entire planet Vegeta. Terrifying cracks as deep as the Dao instantly filled the entire planet Vegeta. As dazzling rays of light flashed, unprecedented fire broke out instantly, and the entire planet Vegeta exploded. A huge explosion resounded throughout the star field. Countless sparks continued to spurt out, and the entire planet turned into a ball. Grains of dust disappear into the universe. Looking at this shocking scene that destroyed the heaven and earth, the worldview of countless powerful people in the world completely collapsed, and the eyes of most people were filled with despair. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 101. God, Frisia is a god. It's not in the same dimension at all. This kind of power is too terrifying. Sky, God, why does this exist? Planet, the planet was actually destroyed right in front of my eyes. I used to think that collapsing mountains and gravel were powerful enough, but now this scene makes me understand what true power means. Opening the gate of heaven with one sword? In front of this terrifying energy bomb, I'm afraid I don't even have the courage to swing my sword. At this moment, I just want to worship Frisia. This is the real strong man. In the picture, countless barrages were like Babel in a dream, falling into unprecedented madness, especially those who had doubted or even praised Frisia before. At this moment, all the beliefs in their hearts collapsed, as if their souls were perishing, and their eyes were dull. Zayamai Tathagata Buddha, Guanyin Bodhisattva, and Jehovah God, all go to hell. Who can resist such a terrifying force? How can this be? Is this real? In the Shinigami world, all the captains of Godei's 13th division were frightened. Even Yamamoto Genri Usai Shijikuni's body couldn't help but tremble. Who is the strongest Shinigami in the Soul Society for thousands of years? In front of this attack, even if he released the swastika, he was nothing more than a grasshopper. In Sui Palace, Juran's face was full of horror, and Aizen's expression was almost crazy, and he murmured to himself, could it be that, is this the pinnacle that living things in the universe can reach? To be honest, compared with Frisia, he who has fully integrated Bengyo is nothing more than an insect. He may even be worse than an insect. The mirror flower, water moon, etc. are simply invisible in front of this energy bomb. Color 820. Is this the existence that conquered the universe? Who are we? Yonko. It's just a joke. In the pirate world, the 4 top emperors above the sea collapsed to the ground. It's too strong. I'm afraid no one in our world can resist this kind of power, right? In the world of One Punch Man, the vest-backed master said tremblingly, and others nodded along. No, maybe we can't resist it, but there is one person who may not be able to do it. Besides, Bangu's voice was neither loud nor quiet, but it reached everyone's ears. Hearing the words, everyone woke up instantly. Yes. There is a man in their world who surpasses the gods. If it is that person, there should be no problem. At the same time, at Saitama's home, Genos looked at Saitama blankly and said, Teacher, if it were you, you are sure to resist Forley Essay's attack. I don't know, but I want to fight Frisia who shows off his full strength. Besides, Saitama shook his head. He didn't dare to vouch for something he had never done before, although this attack was not very strong. Hearing this, Genos's eyes suddenly widened, and he looked incredulously. Saitama's face. What? At this moment, Frisia hasn't shown all his strength yet? Then if Frisia shows all his strength, how powerful will he be? Can he achieve that? A level where you can destroy the planet with just one breath. Not bad strength, although a bit arrogant, but not without arrogant capital. In the world of one leaf covering the sky, the existence of the restricted area of life couldn't help but nodded, with a hint of appreciation in his eyes. There are actually such powerful beings in other universes. It seems that other worlds should not be underestimated. In the 9 heavens and 10 earths, Meng Tianzheng raised his eyebrows. Although he was a little displeased with Frisia's destruction of planet Vegeta, Meng Tianzheng didn't pay too much attention to it. After all, the Xians were under Frisia's command. They do no less bad things, so this can be regarded as a kind of retribution. In the Dragon Ball world, there are traces of blood on the corners of Vegeta and Nappa's mouths, their eyes are red, and 2 lines of tears are clearly visible on their cheeks. Their unprecedented anger even makes them a light green light appeared in Vegeta's dark eyes. Although they wanted to turn around the spaceship immediately and go to Frisia to fight for their lives, the trace of reason left in their hearts told him that his trip at this moment would be in vain. To die, only by becoming stronger, or even transforming into the legendary Super Saiyan, can one have the opportunity to personally chop Frisia into pieces. In the northern Kaiwang, Goku's eyes were full of anger, and the energy emanating from his body was the terrifying aura shook even northern Kaiwang involuntarily. Revenge, revenge must be taken, Frisia must be defeated. At the same time, the body in the universe watched planet Vegeta turn into dust and dissipate into space. At the scene, Frisia couldn't help but cover his mouth and laugh. Oh he, I never get tired of this kind of picture, it's so enjoyable. Just find any planet and destroy it. The screen continued to play, and the spherical small spacecraft continued to shuttle through the universe like a blue shock wave. The terrifying speed had long exceeded the speed of light. After passing countless planets, it finally rushed into a blue planet. Among them, is the Earth. And this scene also moved countless people in the world. This child is the hope of Bardock and the hope of the entire planet Vegeta. They just ask Frisia's men not to find out the existence of Kakarot. As for revenge against Frisia, no one thinks so, because it is simply impossible. An existence like Frisia is simply not an existence that the Saiyans can defeat. Being able to see Kaka for countless people, Lot survived safely. This was the best ending for countless people. However, As Kakarot's spaceship crashed into the Earth, a striking headline suddenly appeared in the minds of everyone in the world. Inventory of characters in the world. The first issue of 2, EVK, P4 Low-Level Warrior Kakarot. To read Bao's Huang novels, go to Filu Novel Network. When I saw the subtitles that appeared, the whole world was filled with excitement. At this moment, everything suddenly became silent. How is this possible? The pupils of countless people shrank suddenly, their whole bodies trembled involuntarily, and their entire brains received an unprecedented strong impact. Not long after the scene of Frisia exploding stars with one finger passed, countless powerful people in the world were frightened. Everyone thought that the person in the inventory video was Frisia. But at this moment, the title of the video is actually this low-level warrior who escaped from Frisia's hands. Doesn't that mean that even if he is as strong as Frisia, he may only be reduced to Kakarot's background in the future? Is this real? In the fairy tale world, Lucy had an expression of disbelief on her face. You know, just now she was hoping to survive in Kakarot, but what happened in the next second made her feel like she was dreaming. The person taking stock this time is actually Kakarot. Doesn't that mean that Kakarot is likely to be stronger than Saitama and Barya in the future? Besides, Myra swallowed her saliva with a look of disbelief on her face. Somewhere in the fairy tale world, even Ziref felt suffocated at this moment. He could never have imagined that the story would develop in this direction. Could it be that Kakarot really has the power to take revenge on Frisia in the future? At the same time, many subtitles also appeared on the screen. Top 4, in the Dragon Ball world, Kakarot, who has the blood of a Saiyan, embarks on a journey in order to collect the 7 Dragon Balls to fulfill his wish. After constant experiences, this straightforward and kind-hearted Saiyan saves the Earth. Countless battles with water and fire, whether it was the great demon King Piccolo, the Saiyans, or even the Emperor of the Universe, Frisia. When facing powerful enemies time and time again, this man never flinched. After constantly surpassing his limits, will eventually become the most powerful Super Saiyan in the universe. Evaluation: the most powerful Saiyan in the universe, a man whose body is comparable to that of the god of destruction. As soon as the scene came out, the world exploded in an instant, and everyone's faces were filled with disbelief. If you read it correctly, Kakarot will become Frisia's enemy in the future. And, if nothing goes as expected, Kakarot will most likely defeat Frisia. How do you fight Frisia? In the world of Naruto, Sakura's eyes widened, and even her pink lips trembled involuntarily at this moment. Naruto and others on the side were also dumbfounded, with incredible expressions on their faces. You know, Kakarot, now that they are not even qualified to look at Frisia, you told them that Kakarot will meet Frisia in the future. And it seems very likely that Kakarot will defeat Frisia. Kakarot actually wants to fight Frisia in the future. Are you sure you're not kidding me? In the world of pirates, Kaido's eyes almost popped out. This low-level warrior sounds completely unqualified to fight Frisia. In the Demon Slayer world, all the pillar-level beings were stunned, and Tanjiro even murmured to himself involuntarily. How much experience does Kakarot have to go through before he can grow up enough to fight Frisia? In fighting to break the world, Xiao Yan couldn't help but be stunned. You know, in order to fulfill the 3-year agreement, he has gone through countless hardships, and only now can he have the capital to defeat Nalan Yanran, and Kakarot wants to. It may take 30 years, or even 300 years, to defeat Frisia. At the same time, other worlds are also incredible about Kakarot's experience and evaluation. Frisia's battle, even the combined combat power of all the Saiyans on planet Vegeta may not be able to shake it, let alone Kakarot, who was sent to Earth. This is completely impossible. If it can really be done, it would be a miracle. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 102. In the world of Dragon Ball, Vegeta and Nappa's faces were full of shock as they rushed to Earth. The person taking stock this time is actually not Frieza, but that lower-level warrior Kakarot. Looking at the title of the video, Nappa's face was full of horror. Super Saiyan, this is not the strongest warrior in the universe, the strongest warrior that is said to be born only after thousands of years. Could it be that the legend is actually true? Vegeta's eyes widened, and countless bloodshot eyes filled his eyeballs, but he still couldn't stop the shock in his eyes. As a prince of the Saiyans, he naturally heard about his father Bai. King Ghidorah said this, and even his father thought that he would definitely be able to become the legendary Super Saiyan. But there has been no Super Saiyan for who knows how many years, which makes all Saiyans confused. I mistakenly thought this was a legend. On Earth, Bulma, Krillin, Turtle Immortal, and others were all shocked to an unparalleled degree by the inventory of characters this time. Their eyes widened and their mouths were opened wide enough to hold a few words. An egg with a face full of wonder. Dog, Gukong, will he be powerful enough to fight Frieza in the future? Clint swallowed and stammered. No. I don't know, can Wukong really reach that point? Bulma shook his head, also a little at a loss. Perhaps, it is really possible. After all, what happened to Piccolo and the Saiyans has already happened, so even if he meets Frieza in the future, it is not impossible. Besides, Kame Sennin was silent for a moment, and then slowly spoke with a solemn expression. Located in the northern Kaiwang, Sun Wukong's eyes burst with unprecedented fighting spirit. In the future, I will definitely defeat Frieza, no matter for my parents still do it for the earth. At this moment, the belief in Sun Wukong's heart has reached an unshakable level. Although he does not know what a Super Saiyan is, he will definitely defeat Frieza. And the North Kaioking on the side looked at him. Wukong's eyes almost fell to the ground, and his whole body began to tremble involuntarily. The expression on his face was difficult to describe in words. Dog, Gokong, Frieza, and the like are no longer important. The comment on the video just now said that you will be able to compete with the God of Destruction in the future. The last sentence, the North Kaioking almost roared out. The loud sound made Wukong stunned instantly. Even the entire North Kaio planet shook involuntarily. Facing Wukong's confused expression, the North Kaioking his face was extremely shocked. Goku didn't know the concept of the God of Destruction, but he knew it. Compared to the God of Destruction, Frieza was just a ball. No. Frieza wasn't even a ball, just like an ant can be trampled on at will. However, in the future, Goku can actually reach the level of the God of Destruction. Isn't this too terrifying? Throughout the history of the entire universe, except for the one who became the God of Destruction, how many people can rival the God of Destruction? This is simply unprecedented, and can be called a myth. Located deep in the universe, Frieza's eyes widened, and his whole body began to shake violently, and his expression was extremely angry, and a terrifying aura burst out instantly, sweeping across the entire starry sky. Impossible, this is impossible. The person in this issue's review is actually not me, but a small Saiyan who is a low-level warrior. Moreover, this inferior Saiyan can actually be the legendary Super Saiyan, and in the end he can even rival the God of Destruction. This is impossible, this must be fake. In the spaceship, Frieza's angry roar spread throughout the spacecraft, and the terrifying aura caused the spacecraft to be on the verge of losing control. You know, his race, the Frozen clan, was once invincible in the entire universe, but his ancestor child once he left a last word to be careful about blonde-haired Saiyans. When he was a child, Frieza heard his father say this, and this also surprised Frieza, so he decided to destroy all Saiyans. Catch all the Asians in one fell swoop. In fact, he was not afraid that the Saiyan race could threaten or even betray him at all. It was just to prevent the emergence of a legendary Super Saiyan among the Saiyans, which might threaten him. Just status. This king blew up the entire planet Vegeta, and a child who happened to escape was actually the legendary Super Saiyan. Frieza was furious, his body shining with purple light, and he roared angrily, "What about Super Saiyan? This king is an unprecedented genius, comparable to the god of destruction. Then I will completely strangle you in the cradle." On the other side, in the god of destruction, Beerus raised his eyebrows with some surprise on his face. "It's really surprising. I didn't expect that the Saiyan named Kakarot could actually defeat Frieza, and his final evaluation was actually comparable to the god of destruction. It's really surprising." Besides, Whice's expression was also extremely surprised. Even he didn't think that a Saiyan could reach the level of the god of destruction. You must know that the power of the god of destruction is extremely powerful. It is no longer a level that living creatures can reach. And now there is such a comment, which is shocking. The screen continues to play. After the introduction of the world view, as the spaceship crashes into the Earth, an old man appears on the screen. This man is named Sun Wu. The old man took in the young Kakarot and began to take good care of the young Kakarot. He gave Kakarot the name of Sun Wukong and regarded him as his grandson. Because of Saiyan, because of human blood, the young Wukong appears to be extremely cruel and often gives Sun Wuhan a huge headache. Until one time, Sun Wukong accidentally fell his head, causing him to lose his original memory. From that moment on, Sun Wukong's cruel character began to change, and he became an innocent, straightforward child with a simple personality. The beautiful days passed quickly until the night of the full moon. Because Goku saw the full moon in the sky, the Saiyan bloodline changed and he transformed into a giant ape. Sun Wukong, who transformed into a giant ape, lost his mind, and his fighting power was 10 times that of normal. In order to stop Sun Wukong, who transformed into a giant ape, Sun Wukong was unfortunately trampled to death. After that, Sun Wukong lived in the mountains. Looking at this scene, countless people in the world of the heavens also felt extremely sad. Finally, Sun Wukong met a grandfather who loved him dearly, but because of his Saiyan blood, he killed his grandfather with his own hands. How sad will Sun Wukong be when he knows this truth? Woohoo, Grandpa Gohan is so pitiful, he died like this. In the world of Conan, Sanako's eyes were filled with tears. Poor Goku, without even knowing anything, his parents and Grandpa Gohan who kindly adopted him died one after another. Besides, Xiaolan couldn't help wiping her tears. In the Dragon Ball world, Sun Wukong looked at the scene and couldn't help but closed his eyes. A line of hot tears ran across his cheeks and fell to the ground. The expression on his face was extremely painful, although he had already learned that it was his giant ape who trampled his grandfather to death. Looking at this scene again at this moment, he couldn't help but feel extremely sad. Wukong, on Earth, looking at this scene, Bulma and others also had some unbearable expressions on their faces. They wanted to comfort Wukong but were suffering from the fact that Wukong was currently on the northern Kaiwang. In the picture, Sun Wukong as a boy was chopping firewood and fishing in the mountains. By chance, Wukong met the scientist with 2 Dragon Balls, Bulma. Under Bulma's introduction, Wukong learned the story of the Dragon Balls, and the two embarked on a journey to collect the Dragon Balls. In fact, Wukong also has a Dragon Ball, the 4-star ball, which is a relic left by Wukong's grandfather, Sun Wuhan. Wukong also has a hard weapon, the Ruyi Golden Cudgel, which can become longer or shorter, larger or smaller. All in all, this is how Goku and Bulma began their adventure of collecting Dragon Balls. And the functionality of the Dragon Balls was known to the heavens and the world, which inevitably set off a wave of terror. To read exciting novels, go to Fila Novel Network. Real or fake? Just collecting 7 Dragon Balls, can all your wishes come true? Oh my god, this is so unbelievable. Is this really possible? If I could, I would like my right arm to grow back so I could hold my aunt with both hands. Woohoo, I want my father to come back to life, please help me collect all 7 Dragon Balls. Pan meow, how could such a thing exist? Being able to realize all wishes is just a joke. What you said above is right, Dragon Balls cannot realize everything, such as killing certain people, but wishes such as immortality and resurrecting the dead can be realized. Dragon Ball World, Krillin. Shrimp. I can live forever, won't my wish come true? Holy shit, oh my god, it's really amazing. I once had a dream, but it has not been realized until now, but I want to gather the Dragon Balls to realize my dream. I don't want to become an immortal, I just want to wait for your return in the world of mortals. I use my heaven-level fighting skills in exchange for Dragon Balls. 10 Supreme Bones. The ultimate imperial weapon. I gave birth to an ancestral talisman. I exchange it for alien fire. I'll exchange it for the elixir of immortality. I'll exchange it for the supreme elixir. In the barrage, they fell into unprecedented madness. Countless people wanted to obtain the Dragon Ball to realize their wishes. From the low-level martial arts world to the high-level world and even the fantasy world, from civilians to martial arts masters, from those who cannot practice. Ordinary people to emperors and even immortal kings can't help but be jealous. You know, ordinary people and even emperors want to live forever. There are too many people. Even the emperors in the fantasy world who are in restricted areas of life are jealous. Immortality. That is the dream of many people. As for the perfect immortal king, they more or less feel sorry for such a person in their hearts. If they can use the Dragon Ball to resurrect him, even if they have to sacrifice a lot, they also want to realize their wishes at a big price. Taking stock of the people in the world, starting with the fate of the country. Author, Red Lotus. Chapter 103. Dragon Ball World, located on Earth. Klin, do you know how much shock the words you just said will cause? Kami Zenran knocked Klin's bald head hard, and slowly spoke under the latter's pained expression. That's right, if Frieza knew about it, he would come to Earth in an instant, looking for the Dragon Balls to fulfill his wish. If Frieza was allowed to live forever, we would be in a bad situation. Bulma on the side couldn't help but speak. Regarding Klin's head, Bulma really wanted to give him a hard kick. Sorry, Klin's face was aggrieved, and he felt extremely regretful. Located in the depths of the universe, Frieza looked at the Dragon Balls on the screen with excitement on his face, and the depression he had felt just now was gone. As long as I have the Dragon Ball, I can wish to grow 5 centimeters taller. Let me set off at full speed and we must find the Earth. Following Frieza's order, Frieza's legions began to dispatch on a large scale to find the location of the Earth. Back to the picture, Goku and Bull's search for the pearl is joyful and interesting, not suitable for children, and some of Bulma's the picture made countless men in the world feel excited. 950. The author is so awesome. This kind of scene is actually broadcast. I would like to call the author the first person. In the world of Conan, Kogoro Mori picked up a tissue and wiped the red liquid on his nose. I have to say that this kind of scene can be broadcast, it is really shocking. Damn it, I actually released all these scenes, I'm so embarrassed. In the Dragon Ball world, Bulma's face is extremely red, and Krillin and Kame Sennin are watching with gusto. In the picture, Goku and Bulma met the first-generation bald and lustful grandfather Kame Sennin on the way. And Kame Sennin is actually Wukong's grandfather and son Wufan's master. Kame Sennin also gave Goku a somersault cloud. In order to get the Dragon Ball in Kame Sennin's hand, Bulma agreed to Kame Sennin's request to see his underwear, and then lifted up his skirt. However, because Wukong took off his panties yesterday night, Bulma was seen by the Turtle Immortal and everyone in the world. In the end, Bulma also successfully obtained the Dragon Ball in the hands of the Turtle Immortal, although the price was a bit high. The Dragon Ball in the world. Looking at this scene, Yamcha's face looked as if he had eaten 10 kilograms of ollie. His face was extremely ugly, and his hair was even green. Bulma was so shy that he almost found a hole in the ground to crawl in. You know, it's okay for the key author to release it, but it's not coded yet. This is really abominable. At this moment, Bulma and Yamcha couldn't help cursing the video author in their hearts. From space, watching the scene, Vegeta snorted coldly, "Is this a human woman on Earth? Really shameless. That is, whoever marries her as his wife in the future will be unlucky." Naba on the side couldn't help but echoed. They felt extremely disgusted with Bulma. There was such a woman on the Earth. In the picture, Wukong and the two met the humanoid piglet who can transform, Wu Dragon. In the village, they got the 5th Dragon Ball and took Oolong with them on the road. Then, they met the thief, Yamcha, in the desert. Yamcha can use Lanja Feng Feng, and the punch is as powerful as the wind, as powerful as scraping. Wukong fought with Yamcha, and easily knocked Yamcha away. Then, Yamcha was frightened by Bulma's beauty, and ran away. That night, Yamcha also peeked at Bulma took a bath, and the scene was very exciting. After a while, Wukong and others came to the Flame Mountain, where they met the Bull Demon King and his daughter Kikai. The Bull Demon King was also the apprentice of the Turtle Immortal. Because the Flame Mountain was on fire, he asked Kame Sennin's fan to put out the fire, but for some unknown reason, Kame Sennin's fan could not be found. So Kame Sennin jumped onto the stone, and then his body suddenly grew. He was originally as thin as an ordinary grandfather, and transformed into the scene of a giant man with extremely strong muscles shocked Wukong and the people in the world. Later, under the Turtle School Kigong of Turtle Immortal, the fire in the Flame Mountain was successfully extinguished. Then Kikai fell in love with Wukong. Secretly promising, the two made a marriage contract. Bulma also found the 6th Dragon Ball from the ruins, and Wukong also realized the Turtle Kigong wave in front of the Turtle Immortal. What an amazing talent! I learned it just by looking at it. It's amazing. In the world of martial arts, Guo Jing looked at Wukong using the turtle-style Kigong waves, and his face was full of shock. You must know that he spent an unknown amount of time in order to learn the 18 dragon subduing palms, and even his wife almost tried to went out. After that, Kame Sennin made an agreement with Wukong that after collecting the Dragon Balls, Wukong would become Kame Sennin's apprentice. The last Dragon Ball was in the hands of the Pilaf trio, and Pilaf also wanted to collect all the Dragon Balls. Wishing to rule the world, under their various sneak attacks, Wukong's Dragon Balls were also snatched away by the opponent. So, Pilaf, who had gathered the Dragon Balls, immediately chanted a spell and summoned the dragon. Boom! With a loud noise in the sky, dark clouds all over the sky, a huge green eastern dragon appeared in the eyes of everyone in the world. The aura exuded from the dragon made some residents of the world call them gods. Is this the dragon? If I get the Dragon Balls, what a wonderful thing it will be, and the entire Great Qin will be able to continue. In the Qin Palace, Yang Zheng looked at the dragon in the picture with great shock. If I can get the Dragon Ball, I can make a wish that I no longer have to be afraid of the sun. In the world of Demon Slayer, a glimmer of light burst out from the eyes of Unai Tsuji Mukai. However, just when Pilaf was about to make a wish, Oolong jumped ahead of Pilaf and made a wish for panties. Therefore, Shenlong made his first appearance and only brought a pair of welfare pants. After that, Shenlong disappeared without a trace, and the 7 Dragon Balls also went their separate ways in the sky. That night coincided with the full moon. Wukong looked at the moon above his head, and once again transformed into a giant ape monster. He shot down Pilaf's escape plane with just one encounter. In the end, Yamcha's friend Pool turned into a pair of scissors and cut off Wukong's tail. Only then did Wukong return to his original state, and the crisis finally came to an end. A paragraph. And Yamcha also fell in love with Bulma and decided to start dating. From then on, the joyful journey of finding the Dragon Ball ended. To read Bao's Huang novels, go to Fila Novel Network. I have to say that the benefits given to video authors are really too many. I'm really impressed that this can be broadcast. My admiration for the author is like a surging river that never ceases, or like the Yellow River that overflows out of control. Stop talking, 7 or 8 of us have fallen here, all from excessive blood loss. It's against morals, it's really against morals. I never imagined that there would be a woman like this. It's upstairs, don't watch it if you don't want to, we still want to watch it. That's right, be careful above and I'll trap you like a monkey. It's so shameful. How could such a thing be done? Can't the author cut more videos? I can't help laughing, the mighty dragon actually realized such a wish. I really didn't expect that the story would develop in this direction. I have to say, Yamcha is really a cruel person, I will obey him without any support. There's nothing wrong with it, it's really fierce. What a pity. It would be great if you could give me the right to make a wish. In the picture, countless barrages passed by. I don't know how many men were praising the author. There were also some women and some men who were condemning the author and Bulma. After all, this picture is really shocking. 0. Whether it's Bulma, Shenlong, or even Kame Sennin, they are all shocking. I have to say, Yamcha is quite handsome. If I were Bulma, I would probably be with him. In the world of Conan, heart suddenly appeared in Yuan's eyes, and her saliva started to flow. He, Sister Bulma looks really good. Besides, Mitsuhiko and others wiped the liquid from their noses with a strange smile on their faces. You are so annoying, I will ignore you, different from Mitsuhiko and others. Ahem, this kind of thing is really against the moral standards, and is like Cold 3.0, in the world of Naruto and others couldn't help coughing, but their brother betrayed their thoughts at the moment. You guys are really like this. Even Sasuke, Sakura and others on the side looked at the appearance of Naruto, Sasuke and others, their faces were extremely red, and they all yelled angrily. Miss Bulma is so beautiful, even compared to Miss Nami, I'm afraid she's on par. In the pirate world, Sanji collapsed on the ground, and the ground was full of bright red liquid. Even Luffy and others on the side couldn't help but widen their eyes. Although they had never seen this kind of scene, but now they see it again. It's still shocking to see. Teacher, is it really okay for us to watch videos here instead of practicing? In the fighting spirit world, Xiao Yan wiped his nose and couldn't help but ask. It doesn't matter, don't rush it, no matter how long the video is, it will only last a few days. Watch it first before talking about it, and accumulate the experience of a strong person. Suspended in mid-air, Yao Lao stared at the screen with his eyes, the expression on his face was extremely serious. If it weren't for the red tissue on the ground, even Xiao Yan might have felt that Yao Lao was really watching the growth of a strong man.